Hey, it's Mr. Grable here, and we are doing fourth grade Go Math lesson 2.10, and this is multiplying two-digit numbers with regrouping. And this is like that standard algorithm that I learned way back in the day when I was a little kid. So we're going to take a look at this, and we're going to go ahead and just kind of attack it. So right here are the basic directions, and in this problem we are multiplying 7 times 63. And the first step is to estimate the product. So the product is the answer to the two factors, and you'll notice that they rounded 63 to 60. And 7 times 6 tens is 42 tens, or 420. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. All right, that's perfect now, right? So in these problems, the next step is to actually start multiplying. So we're going to start right here at the ones, and we're going to do 7 times 3 ones, and we know that 7 times 3 is 21. And when we look at 21, there's the ones place and there's the tens place. And we know that we can only put one digit in each place value. So when we do 7 times 3, it's 21. We're regrouping the 2 because it belongs in the tens place. The next step is to multiply the tens. So we're going to say 7 times 6 tens is 42 tens. But we can't forget about the 2 tens that we brought over from the 21 right here. So we would do 42 plus those 2 to get us 44 tens. And you can notice 44 tens, and it ends in that tens place. So 7 times 63 is 441. And that's pretty close to 420, our estimate, so our answer is reasonable. Now, as we practice a couple of problems down here, it's important to remember and really emphasize that place value and not just moving numbers around. Um, so let's go ahead and start off. We're going to do one problem and then maybe two, and then I'll pause it and then I'll give you the answers for the rest. All right, so number one, first step is to estimate. So I'm going to do 6 times 40. And 6 times 4 tens is 24 tens. All right, now let's go ahead and multiply these problems. So I'm going to start off in the ones place. 6 times 2 ones is 12 ones. So 12, I bring the 12 up into the tens place. Now I go back to the 6. I'm going to do 6 times 4 tens. 6 times 4 tens is 24 tens, plus one more 10, so that's 25 tens. Gotta make sure I make that a little bit neater, right? 25 tens. So here's my exact product, 252, and that's pretty reasonable, so I'm thinking I got this one correct. Let's scoot over to problem number 2 now. Let's see if it's this way. There we go, number 2. So I'm going to estimate. I'm going to do 6 times 98. 98 is closer to 90, or is it closer to 100? It's closer to 100, and 6 times 100 is 600. So if my answer is somewhere around 600, the exact answer, the exact product, then we know it's reasonable. All right. So we start in the ones place. 6 times 8 is 48. And in 48, I can see the ones place, and I can see the tens place. If I put my ones place, I have to regroup my tens, so they're all together. I go back to 6 times 9. 6 times 9 is 54 tens. 6 times 9 tens, or 6 times 90 is 54 tens. Plus that 4. 54 plus 4 is 58 tens. So my final product is 588. That's pretty reasonable. That's pretty close to 600. We're good. All right. So I'm going to pause this video. Well, maybe I won't pause it here. Let's go ahead, jump down to number 6. Go ahead and write this down. Pause the video and do the estimate, and then let's solve this problem. All right. So you should be back if you pause it and wrote it down. Now let's check your work. So we're going to do 4 times 90 equals 4 times 9 tenths is 36 tenths. All right, so if my answer is, my final product is close to this, I know it's reasonable. Start with the ones place. 4 times 3 is 12. Gotta make sure I move my tens over. 4 times 9 is 36 tenths, plus one more 10, so 4 times 9 is 36 tenths, plus the 1 tenth is 37 tenths. So my final product of 93 times 4 is 372. It's pretty close to 360, so I'm on track. A couple of mistakes that students make as we solve these types of problems is they goof up with the second step here in the tens place. So they may say 7 times 5 is 35. Sometimes students will do 3 times 3 is 9 plus 5, and that's incorrect. Sometimes students will do 5 times 3 times 3, and that's incorrect also. So make sure that we're saying 5 times 3 tenths is 15 tenths plus 3 more tenths, or 18 tenths. This is a little tricky for some students, but most of the time, the more that you practice, the more successful that you'll be. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.